Hello, and welcome to the KISS Web Development Framework Introduction Series. This is Part 5, Data Persistence. Out of the box, KISS supports Microsoft SQL Server, PostgreSQL, MySQL, SQLite, and Oracle. The Oracle system requires a manual download of the driver since Oracle won't let you download that automatically. KISS comes with a single initialization file that tells it what the parameters are for the database that you're going to use, what the database server is, what database it is, what your username, password, all those kind of things. That's located in the file source main application KISS init.groovy. Whenever you change that file, you have to be sure to reboot KISS. So it only looks at that file when you first boot the system. As initially shipped, the KISS system comes with a built-in SQLite database that's good for small development and maybe just demo purposes. At the root of the KISS system, there's a file named init.sql. That has some schema file that'll show you exactly how the database should be set up to boot the system in terms of authentication and things like that. I'll be showing you that a little later on. What you see here is the contents of the KISS init.groovy file. You could see here that it's telling me that the host server is at localhost. You would set the database name over here. This is the place where you would set the username. And this is the place where you would set the password to the database. The schema shown is the one that KISS uses in the CRUD example. You can see that it just has a few simple fields, a record ID, which is auto-incremented, a last name, first name, and a phone number. We will now look at the actual code that utilizes the KISS API to interact with the SQL server. At the top of the screen, we are showing the schema for the table we will be talking about. It is just a simple table with a few columns. Rec ID, last name, first name, and phone number. Below, we have the actual backend code for the CRUD example that comes with KISS. We first see the code for the getRecords web service. KISS actually opens the database and passes a connection object to the database parameter in all web services. So we get this database parameter right here. Using the DB object, we are going to evoke the fetchAll method in order to obtain all the records specified by the SQL statement. So in this one line, we're doing select star from the phone up here, and we're getting all the records, a list of records, into the recs database. It should be noted that the SQL statement can be any valid SQL statement accessing any number of tables. This particular API returns a list of records. We can then loop through each record and perform whatever operation we want. Right there. It should be noted that the KISS Persistence API includes many facilities, including the ability to cursor through a result set rather than reading a full list of the records. Now, getting the column values, you can see here we're taking that record object and we're saying get integer the record ID, which is this record ID over here. Then we're saying record get the string object, which is the first name, so on and so forth. So we can get each one of the columns. Now let's move to the add record service right here. This method adds a new record into the database. First, the new record object is created. So we do that right here. So we create a new record object and we're saying it's on the phone table. Then we assign values into the columns. So you can see us doing here. So we're saying that record, that new record, in the first name column, put this value. And it's for the last name column here and the phone number column over here, so on and so forth. Finally, we insert the record into the database with the call to add record. So we just call that function right there, and it adds the record into the database. Next, we look at how to update a record. This is this method over here. We first obtain the record with the fetch one method. So this fetches one record right here. One important point to note here is the use of parameters. The parameters is this question mark here, and this value that we're passing into it over here. With any of the above queries, you may use question marks in order to pass in a value. Using parameters like this, as opposed to building an SQL string with the values embedded, is an important difference. The parameterized method is far more secure. After reading the record, we then update the column values with the set. So now we're going to take a look at this update record. So here we do the fetch one, we set all the values, and then we just call update record. And that's all we have to do. And that inserts the new data into the table. Finally, we move to the delete record web service to see how a record is deleted. The execute method call can be used to execute any SQL statement against the database. In this case, we are using it to delete a specific record in the database. It should be noted that this is actually not the typical way a record is deleted. Another way is, if we had the record object we want to delete, we could just call delete method on it. These examples provide a quick overview of the Persistence API. The full API described in the Java doc is quite a bit richer than shown here. We just want to give you a starting point. Thank you for viewing this video. Following videos in this series will go into further details regarding developing with the KISS system. We will be discussing production deployment. Thank you.